In today's video, we're going to be talking about NHS interview question or even care home interview questions for all carers. And even if you're a nurse, medical line, anything that has to do with hospital, private, NHS, care home, please watch this video to the end. If you're hoping or you're planning for your interview or you're already have a date, you're planning and getting ready for your interview, even if you've not been invited, it is okay, it is good to have some of this knowledge because they will help you. In fact, being a nurse, these questions are some of the questions I was also asked at some point during my job interviews in the UK. So it's going to be beneficial to both senior carers, nurses, but this basically, I would just say it's mainly for senior carers or nurses that want to come to the UK, either within the NHS or even the care home. Before I start, I'm going to just say one thing that you don't need to worry as long as you're prepared. Just get as much information as you can, and on your interview day, just be yourself. Express yourself, and whatever you don't know, just say, I'm sorry, I don't understand the question, or I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to that particular question. They don't expect you to know everything because you're going to learn on the job, but there are some basic things that you need to know if you're going to be working in the health sector in the UK, especially as a senior carer or as a nurse. So the first thing they may ask you is, why do you want to work with us? And your answer, of course, I know you want to say because you need the money, but that is not what you want to be telling the interviewer. So why do you want to join the organization? You want to please go and read about that company, know their value. If you know their value or their aim in the organization, if the value of that company is to promote health, then you want to use that particular point to say, I want to be able to contribute by putting into practice all my experience, whatever the years you've worked, even if you don't have work experience in school, what you've learned, your personal value, because you're hardworking and you know that this organization is really about maybe patient care, they are about good health, they are about whatever the value of that company is going to be a very good point for you to use. So you're going to incorporate that value into your answer. If I add all my knowledge and my skill, my hard work to the company, it's going to help to achieve the aim of the organization, or because you've seen that maybe if they've achieved maybe some award, if there's been any good rating from the CQC, from the Health Commission, and you've seen it on the website, you want to bring it in. You can also say that you've gone through the website and you've seen that recently they were awarded to be the best hospital or the best care home in so area, and you think it is a place where you want to grow, where you want to add your value, where you want to add your own experience, where you want to add all that you know. Another question you may get asked is, why do you want to be a carer? To start with, please, you need to be very compassionate. You need to really want to be a carer, because you cannot just come into it for the money or for whatever. It's not patient-centered reason why you want to be a carer, because if you don't like the job is going to frustrate you. You'll say that you'll not be able to manage, because there are so many other jobs out there that will be able to pay you even better or as much as this job is going to pay you. So you want to be compassionate. You want to tell them, or you want to make them believe that you really enjoy caring for people. You really love working with older people. Of course, you know, hospital is all about care, comfort, and helping people. You can even bring in stories that from your childhood or from when you're growing up, about how you love to help your sister when your sister has so this, or even your mom, your grandmother, if you've had anyone who was unwell at some point, how you helped them when they were unwell, even if it's not dementia, if it's not whatever it is, like just bring in a time when you were in a position to help others and how you love to help, how you hate to see people in pain, how you hate to see people helpless, and it is just your passion to help. If you have background story, just like myself, why I wanted to be a nurse, I've always wanted to be a nurse since I was about 7. I went to the hospital, I saw nurses in white uniform with their cap and looking really smart and beautiful, and that was the first reason why I wanted to be a nurse from when I was young. So I usually bring up my story when I'm being interviewed as to why I want to be a nurse, and you can also bring in your story as to why you want to be a carer in that particular organization. They can ask you, why do you want to work for this particular organization as well? Before I forget, remember to bring in the multidisciplinary team that you want to work with, especially if you're interviewing for the NHS. You want to talk about how you're a good team player, how you want to work with all the multidisciplinary team in the hospital, with the doctors, the pharmacists, the nurses, everyone in on the team, how you want to get more experience and how you're a good team player, and you think working with all this multidisciplinary team will help you grow and will also help your knowledge, will help you to feel fulfilled. Just bring all those things in. Like, those are some of the, especially when you use the multidisciplinary team, that is going to help you make a very good point, especially if you're interviewing for the NHS. And even for a care home also, there's so many people who you work with, so you like to work as a team. And working with this organization, you know, you've heard, even if it's from a friend, from a family, from someone who referred you to that place, that there are good team players here. There's so many people that you can work with, and you think it's an environment where you want to contribute your own value. Remember, most of the time, remember, it is the benefits of the company, not just you. So you don't want to start talking about how you want to make money, how you're broke, how you're this. It is about what you can bring, how you can help, and how the company as well can help you grow to help them. So those are going to be your key aim and objective. They may ask you, why should we hire you? Because there's so many other people who may be applying for the same job. So why should it be you who will be hired? Take a minute to think about your value. It's not about being proud. It's about you selling yourself for what you think you are. You're hardworking. You have so many years of experience. You've worked with so place. If it's a dementia unit, you've worked in dementia. If it's hospital, your experience, even when you were in school, very determined, you like to get things done, you like to work in team, and when it comes to being a leader as well, you also like to be a leader. So you can either be a leader or a follower or a team member. So you're very good in all areas. Tell them how you're able to identify problem on time, especially if it is for a care home. In a care home, as a carer, you need to be at alert, because you may have only one nurse on your floor who will be watching over like 16, 20, 30 residents. They cannot be everywhere all the time. But you as the carer, you're the one that is going in, doing the repositioning. You're the one that is going to dress them. You're the one that's going to be doing one thing or the other. You're coming in contact with the resident the more. So you're able to see them more. I'm not saying the nurses don't see them. I'm just saying you're more close to the residents than some nurses, because there's a lot of you, like, and you're the one going like one-to-one and doing all the personal care, and you're able, just tell them, you're able to identify problem on time, and you know when you see any changes, any abnormal changes, and you're not sure, you are able to escalate it on time. Those are some of the value that you have, and you know your limits, because as a carer, even as a nurse, as a carer, sometimes you may be working, especially in the hospital or in the NHS, where the doctor can just come in and just ask you to do something, or someone who is visiting does not know your qualification limit, or does not know your qualification level. You should be able to say that you know when to stop, you know your limitation, and you like to ask for help as well, and you will not go out or beyond your boundary. One question that is also very important that you need to know, either as long as you're coming to the UK, is very important. You need to know the 6 C's: care, compassion, communication, courage, competence, and commitment. Sometimes they may ask you to just explain one of these. It is very easy. It is straightforward. You know what commitment is. You know what competency is. I've talked about competency, just to know when to stop, to know your limitation, to know what you're allowed to do. You know what courage is. You know what compassion means. You know what commitment is. You know what communication is. Communication can go a long way to help people. It's not about medicine, this, that. Sometimes just listening to someone is enough. So you need to just know the meaning of these C's, all the C's, and there are 6 in number. Just know them. And if you don't know them, nobody's going to fail you. Just say, I'm sorry, I will go and read about them, or I will go and learn more about them. What will you do when you're faced with a difficult patient or difficult resident? The first thing you want to assess before you approach, you want to check that the environment is safe enough. If someone is aggressive, you don't want to just approach and get hurt or hurt other people. You want to assess the environment to see that it is safe to approach. You want to approach calmly. You don't want to escalate the situation with your word, with your action or your inaction. You want to be systematic. You want to be proactive. So you're going to be calm and communicate with them nicely. Another thing is understanding the reason for aggression or understanding the reason for the problem. So if you understand the reason before you approach, it may just mean you leaving them some time. And if they're too aggressive, you can also say if it's something you cannot solve, you need to walk away and ask for help, escalate to whoever can help. Even sometimes it may even involve you bringing in the police or speaking to someone that is above you. If you're going to be a carer, of course, you've got the nurses, you've got the manager, you've got the ward sister, you've got other people, the security who are above you that will be able to help you in such situation. What is confidentiality? Confidentiality is very important when you're dealing with people who have got their data, their results, their name, their sicknesses, their story, their history in your care. You need to know how to keep all of it private, and you don't give those information unnecessarily. You don't discuss about resident or about patient on the corridor with your worker, the use of social media. You don't talk about your resident on social media. You don't, just making sure that you keep everything they've entrusted in your hand private. It is very important. And for instance, someone just phone your ward and asks about a patient or a resident, you're not going to give the information over the phone because the patient or the resident have not given you the go ahead to discuss about them to that particular person. You have to be very careful, making sure you only give information to only the right people. Of course, there are times when a patient or a resident, we confide in you with information that is very, very important. You need to let them know that you will not be able to keep this information to yourself alone. You will have to escalate it or tell someone within the multidisciplinary team that will be able to help, who is also a medical personnel. Or if you notice that there's a threat to life or harm or danger, you need to let them know that you will need to escalate this for safety. Someone has told you to do a wrong moving and handling. What are you going to do? You need to let them know that it is very wrong because of the safety of both the patient and of yourself. So you're not going to do it. You're going to ask for help. You're going to escalate, and you're going to make sure the person is put right or re-educated, because moving someone in a very wrong way, don't worry, you're going to be trained on moving and handling. You're going to be taught all those things. You don't need to worry, and the way you've been taught should be the proper way, for your own safety and for the safety of those in your care. You're going to refuse to do the wrong moving and handling. Okay, you can also be asked, what is safeguarding? Please read about safeguarding. It is very important. Safeguarding is making sure you keep your patient, relative, your colleague safe from harm, abuse, or neglect. Have you ever cared for anyone in the past? You don't need to lie. Just think about a time when maybe you cared for your grandma, your grandpa, someone on the street, your sibling, anybody. Just think about a story in the past when you cared for someone, and even if it was not successful, or even if you did not do much, even if it's just for you to phone police or whatever, or phone 999, just explain your experience. Some, it is their mom, it is their parent, anyone who has been unwell that you've cared for. And if you can't think of anybody at that moment, just say, I'm sorry, there's no one I've ever cared for directly. But they will really want you to have a little bit of idea of, what you're coming into. And I will also advise you, please, once you see the job advert, usually on the job advert there's usually job description, so they will usually explain what you're going to be doing. So you need to please read through those description and be able to talk about it when you come for your interview. And sometimes, especially in the NHS, you may get a little math and English, but don't worry, it is nothing much. It's just for you to show that you can read and you can calculate simple mathematics. It's not going to be hard if you get it in the NHS. I don't think care homes will ask you for math and English, okay? So it's something very easy. And I will just advise you, just a quick tip on your interview day: be confident. If you need to eat before the time. Drink water. If you need to use the toilet, use the toilet. Don't worry, they're not ghosts. They need you more than you need them. You don't know. So don't worry, you may get the job if you do everything you should do right. And if they really need you, you're going to be fine. You don't need to panic. If you're anxious, it's going to show that you're anxious. Just be confident and just breathing, okay? Relax. And if you don't know any question, ask. Interview sometimes it's not about asking you. You can also ask them few questions, but don't ask stupid question, okay? I hope your interview goes well. And I wish you good luck. If you've already gotten your job, please let me know in the comment section down below. I wish you good luck in all your endeavor. If you're a carer, a senior carer, or a nurse, I hope this question has helped you. Please look out for my other videos about everything nursing in the UK, lifestyle, everything. I'll see you again in another video. Until then, stay safe and take care. Bye.